If we look at this particular frame, we've got the forehead and the head of a giant Sasquatch. I mean, this thing it's huge. This is a very large hominoid. This is, I believe, actually untouched. So this would be what you would see from across the prairie. This is how the light looked. So he's blending in magnificently. This is the forehead. You can see these huge eyes. This is the nose area down here. It's like, he's just got bushes in front of him, and who knows what else is in here with this giant creature. But if we make some adjustments, we get, a better look at what this guy is and what he really looks like, just by making a few adjustments to adjust the contrast. You can see the eye much better now that this is a huge creature, and again, we've got that huge Sasquatch, figure with the huge forehead. It's terrifying because 6 feet is relatively short here in this area. So we're looking at something that's 14 feet tall or something. Who knows? I mean, it looks like it's so big. And its eye is like the size of a person's head, just about, But this is the data that we can't seem to shake in our investigations. There appear to be things in this forest that aren't enormous trees. These are what appear to be hominoids, and they're enormous. And it would fully explain all the cow bones that we found in these forests strewn about everywhere. That's a huge hominoid, man. Let's see if we get a little more detail out of that guy. Yeah, you can see a little shine on his forehead. This is going to be the head, top of the head area, and we got the forehead, but you can see where there's a little bit of a point. It's got a little bit of the true color coming through. This individual is white. Let's take a look at a white one right now. Clear footage. So here we are, we're in the editor, and we're looking at some of the very first crystal clear footage of the achromatic Sasquatch that we've been studying. And you're finally getting to look at one of these enormous creatures. You can see his head is right here, and he's got color change, but the color change is split. And the rest of his face is over here. We got the cheekbone, and we've got the eye here, and the eye appears to be both front and on the side, which is more reptilian than primate, actually. It's interesting, but you can see the whole creature. This is the creature that we've been describing and showing you, and you can see how its color change is affecting right here. So when we look at the footage, we've got the creature moving its eye. You can see its eye area is right here. The head, again, is this enormous thing here, but we've got the cheek over on this side, confusing everything, and that's because it's changing colors. But you can plainly see this creature, and what does it look like? It looks like this drawing, very similar to this drawing. And we're going to take a look at some really killer frames, and we're going to go over the achromatic or colorless giants that we're reviewing. This thing is approximately 12 feet tall. With this area right in here being 6 feet, this thing is 10 to 12 feet tall, and it's kind of leaning over too. When you look at it, it's leaning. So, but we've got plenty of footage to go over. So stick around, man, because what we're going to be going over today is something you've never seen before this clear. Right now, we shot and shown you all kinds of footage. Look at this thing. It's in there watching. The colorless giant Sasquatch of Florida. Next on Crypto Reality. Yeah, I think I probably just about fainted when I looked down this tree line at that brush level, which is 10 10, 11, 12 feet, you know, in that variation all the way down here, and I saw this different kind of white. We've got a little bit of something over here too. Now the background is obvious, right? But at the same time, I can see the difference. There's a subtle difference in that. That's a different kind of colorless. That's a different kind of white, you know. And just looking at it, it's amazing to be able to see it again, but this time on film with the kind of clarity that I've seen it in reality. You know what I mean? This is the same type of individual that I saw in this encounter right here, where this is my sketch, and this is it. You can see it's the same type, you know. So it's rewarding to pursue and continue developing, you know, theory based on what your data is revealing, and then following that crucially through the experimentation and then subsequent examinations of the footage to actually prove you know, your data out, and proving it out right here. I hope you understand what we just proved out. We proved out that there are a lot of people who are very wrong, and here it is, the achromatic Sasquatch, the colorless man. I want to direct your attention to the creature's eye socket, right? So again, we're watching this enormous creature, and if you're trying to look at it vertically, the creature is leaning to its left, right? So we have the cheekbone, and the other cheekbone is right in this area. You can see this angle on this line right here. That's the edge of the cheekbone. Under it, but you can see that's the same exact angle on the other side right here, and then the creature's eye is right here. But I want to direct your attention to the nature of this creature's eye and how it can move, because this is critical data on how these creatures observe their environment. And if we look at it, what we can see is he's plainly moving it from side to front, side to front. Again, we're right here, and you can see the eye from side to front, side to front. This is more of a reptilian trait. Again, I'm going to move that again, but we've got the creature's nose here, so we're looking at the brow area here, but this creature has independent brow, and it's actually appears to be looking off in this direction, but if you watch, now it's looking forward, and we can see that it's moved. Side, front, side, front. This creature can look to the side. Lizards can do that, and it's looking right at me right now. There's that ball, and that's that eye that bounces a lot more light back. That's what's happening. But again, we're seeing that there's an independent musculature there under that eye, that brow. We can see that musculature, and it's to the side, and it looks back to the front, and we can plainly see that musculature moving under that eye. This is an incredible species right here, is what we're looking at. And this, in my mind, is probably some of the stuff that A.H. Miller was looking at when he classified these creatures in the Telidae classification, because that's a reptilian classification, and his official designation was Cebidae Telidae, or Cebidae Telidae, or Cebidae Telidae, whichever way you prefer it. But you can see plainly that we're dealing with something that clearly has, just in the movement, in the musculature around the eye, some interesting traits is the way we can put it. I mean, that's incredible. And looking at, you know, the rest of the footage as we go through this, we get some incredible shots, and we're dealing with, you know, some pretty good distances in some of these shots, but this one was actually a lot closer. He's in this area right here, and as we zoom in, you can see there's a little bit of a color difference between this white, which is the colorless, the achromatic colorless, and then the sky. And there appears to be something back in this area, but this right here ended up being him, and we can see him up here. We'll watch right now as he comes down. You can see it's moving, and that eye is constantly evaluating everything that's going on around it. And you can see this enormous creature right there, and we've got the big head with the apex, a couple of palm fronds in front of it, but you can see that ball inside that musculature again. And that's a great frame right there, man. Couple of great frames. You can see the under eye moving again, that musculature moving the ball. That's a trip, man. To see that in what, look at this musculature on top of the eye here. I mean, it's nuts. That head, we got this color difference here because it's picking up colors. The shade of this tree could be what's causing this difference in color variation here. You got the nose right here, you can see it plainly, but he's observing our group as we attempt to locate them, and we're actually looking across in this direction. And I know I shot clips, but I also on one of these expeditions had camera trouble, and I'm wondering if this is, you know, where I had camera trouble. I haven't gone through yet to find it, but you can see this creature's brow, and you know, when the two independents are screeched up with like that anger kind of a brow, you can see it. It's kind of startling, man. It's enormous, but we did it, man. We got them. The achromatic giants of South Florida. You're staring at one of them hiding in some saw palmettos from about 85, 90 yards away, and we finally did it. We got some really clear footage of one of these achromatons. That's what we're calling them, man. And the reality is these creatures, under most light conditions, you will not know that they're there. Crypto reality, long-term field research supported by the general public and people who actually want to move the needle forward. If you're interested in supporting our study, join us on Patreon at Crypto Reality. What's going on, guys? I want to thank you for watching and let you know that if you're interested in supporting the study, you can do it on Patreon. It's $1.99 a month. And if you're trying to learn about field research, join the In the Field tier, man. You can contact me anytime you need to. And if you have problems with equations in your field research, I'd be happy to help. It's not a problem. At this point, we know what we need to know so that when we go in, we can see the creatures, because that's what's happening, right? When we're catching them on film, we're noticing what we expect to notice when the creatures are present. There's an effect. It's like an optical illusion, but only the creature's achromatic skin can cause that. And the colorless people walk around blending in with color that's stationary. So there's this light coming down and it's hitting the canopy, and when there's no wind, all those shafts of light are split, and some of that light going through those leaves is in that, but it's changed color and diffused, and now it has some of that green tone, and it's going through a yellow leaf and it picks up a strip of yellow, so you're getting green and yellow. And see, these are the light spectrums that we don't see, but that's all hitting a blank canvas on their face. And so as they walk through, they hit those shafts of light that are stationary on windless days, and they change color as they walk through. This is 24 hours, 7 days a week, because at night they adopt the darkness. And when I tell you that they can change to a shade of black, from white, from bright white, to something that's even beyond black, I call it void. It's a color that's so deep it looks like space. It looks like the void of space. And then he comes forward out of the shadow and he's actually bright white, but vanishes in a millisecond just by leaning back. Coming forward, changing colors with whatever's diffusing off the plants around it. We got lucky in this last footage, and it's clear, and you can see that creature for what it actually is, according to what spectrums of light we're capable of seeing. Human beings can only see less than 50% of 1%. It's like 0.036%. or something ridiculous of 1% of all available light. 99.67% or 65% of light you're not even seeing until that creature walks through it. You see, the Sasquatch retransmits the color that we can't see. We don't see the light hit the trees. It's just hitting the trees. But when the Sasquatch walks through, we can actually see the colors bouncing back off of its skin that we can't see with the naked eye. There's light glowing everywhere around everything, and we can't see it. Do some research, you'll see it. Oh, and if you're going to listen to somebody about our work, shouldn't you listen to us? We'll see you next time on the Bigfoot Researcher's Journal.